Hey everybody, what's going on? Happy Sunday to you. Welcome back to another episode of the Faccmonster Cafe, episode number 16. I still can't believe I'm still doing these. I thought this would be a short run thing like most stuff I do on this channel is, but still going strong, still enjoy getting to know all these different content creators. And today is going to be no different. This person has been on the channel before. It's been a little while, but he has definitely been on this channel. He is an amazing content creator, one of the best out there. His channel's blowing up, ladies and gentlemen, and his name is Night from the NightWatch Zone. What's going on, brother?
Hey man, I'm just ready to rock and roll. You're right. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, you know. I'm glad to be back.
Probably it got to be like a year. It was a while.
Yeah, it's been at least a year. Yeah.
But I mean, YouTube, ever changing,
That's right.
always busy. So, I mean, totally understandable how we don't get together that often, but I am glad you agreed to come on today and get to know you a little bit better than I already do. But how is your weekend going, buddy? How have you been?
It's going good, man. I can't complain, but you know how it is, and you alluded to it. YouTube, time flies, man, because it doesn't seem like it's been a year since we've been, together, talking. But I think that's because you just get so busy. I mean, you know how it is, man. I mean, every day is like you're doing something, you're doing something for your channel, you're doing some content, you're editing, you're answering comments or emails and stuff like that. So, I'm always like just just moving. And that doesn't count watching movies. That doesn't even count.
That doesn't count. That's not part of it. But since obviously you've been going strong at this, what made you want to dive into the YouTube game in the first place? Like, what inspired you to want to start a channel and grind as hard as you do?
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, getting into it was total luck. It wasn't the game plan, really. I mean, it was really because of the pandemic and just having a lot of time on my hands and thinking to myself, well, I gotta do something to kind of, take up my time and something that might be creative. And I remember talking to my brother who at the time had some friends that were doing things like podcast, audio podcasts and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest, man, I never thought that I'd be able to do something like this. So shout out to all of us that do it, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that think that, because I didn't know that it was something that was going to be that I could even do. But I just started doing it and it was fun. And man, I've loved movies since I was a little kid, like 6-7 years old. And once I started to do it and started to have fun and connecting to people and all that, then I said to myself, well, this is actually fun. I'm not totally horrible at it. Maybe if I work hard at it, we can have some movement, do some things. And that's pretty much how it went. We started to really connect with a lot of people. And then I just thought to myself, well, if I'm gonna, I've always been kind of like this, if I do something, I just go all in. So I just started to think to myself, well, I'm just going to put forth as much effort as I can. And that's pretty much what it was. I really was inspired by a lot of, the old school YouTubers, whether it's Lee and Piz and all those guys, Christian, all those guys. And because I used to watch them before I even had a channel. So, they were definitely inspiration. And then, of course, being in the community and coming up with all you guys, coming up with you and, Jason, all these guys, it was really inspirational just seeing everyone else having fun with it. So that really was something that also gave me a lot of drive.
Yep. Like you said, I got into it about the same time. Pandemic, I saw always listen to Lee and Cody Leach and whoever at Wham. And I was like, they just have so much fun. And it seems like such a good time. And they have great communities. And I was like, why not? Even if it doesn't get as big as theirs, not even close, but just build a little community and interact with the content creators that we do know, and still doing it still from back then. I mean, that says a lot, because I didn't anticipate this being a thing that I would do longer than like a year, let it go, get sick of it and quit, and then just go back to listening to others. But it's fun. I think that's the main point of it. It's fun talking movies. It's fun talking to all these amazing content creators like yourself. So why not just
Thanks,
keep
man.
going until you can't go no more, I guess.
That's right, man. I mean, I think you just kind of said it. Like, as long as you're having fun with it and getting something out of it, whether it be, learning something or getting some really cool ideas on movies that you like or different opinions that create a conversation. I think that's some of the coolest stuff, man. And making all the
Mhm.
connections with people. I mean, these are connections I would have never made otherwise. And to think that you can have friends that live on the other side of the country from you or on the other side of
Yep.
the world, it's like it's crazy, but it's fun. It's really a lot of fun.
Speaking of which, Jason Nike, my man, what's up, buddy?
What's up,
He
man?
he he was just on the channel the other day, so he's no stranger.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm curious to this question. I think I might know the answer, but maybe I'm going to be mistaken. Out of the big three, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and A Nightmare on Elm Street, which one is your favorite? What is your go-to?
Friday has always been number one.
Damn, I was wrong.
Well, I will say this, and this is a well, I don't want to say it's a caveat, but and I've said this on my channel a lot, like in the last couple of years. Halloween definitely is special to me. Halloween 78 is my favorite,
Mhm.
film, out of the big three. Like, if you said rank all the big three films,
Yeah,
Halloween 78 is easily my number one. So I have an interesting connection with that franchise, and obviously with it being strong, with the trilogy and the community and all the discussions and the
yeah,
fun times, the disagreements and all that type of stuff.
yeah.
It's been so much fun talking Halloween. I do think it's my favorite mythology. Like, the mythology of
Okay,
Michael Myers is my favorite. I can talk
I agree.
about, and obviously I've done it on my channel. I can talk about the mythology of Michael Myers all day long because I just think it's so fascinating. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, but as far as franchises itself, it's still Friday the 13th for me. It's still Friday the 13th for me. Halloween's getting closer though. Halloween's getting closer. When I was a kid, I probably would have said Nightmare. Because I was a huge Freddy Krueger fan when I was growing up. A huge Freddy Krueger fan.
I I'm trying. I'm trying to give it a shake. I mean, I enjoyed rewatching the franchise, but it's not a franchise that I dive back into often. Like, I'm never just sitting around and be like, you know what, I feel like watching Nightmare on Elm Street 3. There's just something about it.
Yeah.
I just don't find myself doing it. Personally,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm a Halloween guy,
Yeah.
but I kind of when I want to watch a slasher, I go to Friday. Really, they're just
Yeah.
Halloween is serious business. Like, Friday the 13th is let's have a good time. Let's see some TNA and kill some kids. Like,
That's right.
Halloween is in that same vibe, but like you said, the mythology behind Michael Myers is what makes Halloween so good. So I think that's why personally I have it as my favorite.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. I
Agreed,
know I
man.
saw. Let
Totally agreed.
me see. I'll go to the chat for a question. I have where to go? Where to go? From Boogman, he says favorite non-franchise slasher. What would it be?
Favorite non-franchise slash. Wow, that's a really good question, man. Um, Non-franchise. Well, let me. I'll just throw out a few. That's a really good question. Um, and by the way, I really enjoyed Thanksgiving. So that's
Me
that's not
too.
a that's not a franchise yet, although we got the
You
sequel
will.
coming, but
Yeah.
that's kind of a cheat. But I love a lot of the old school slashers, the really, cheap, gritty, campy ones. I love Just Before Dawn. That was one that it's crazy because when I first watched it, I watched it when I was tired. And I didn't really dig it. I wasn't really on board. I was like, and it proved to me that, at least for me, when I watch a movie, I don't want to be watching a movie when I'm tired. So
Yeah.
me and Coriander, we watched it the next evening or the next afternoon, and it was a total change. Like, I just really enjoyed the atmosphere, and you're out in the friggin' woods and stuff like that. It's campy, it's cheesy, but that's a really fun slasher that is not a franchise. I'm trying to think, man, what else? I know there's tons of them.
I've
um
I've seen Just Before Dawn once.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't the ending involve a hand going down a throat? I could be wrong.
Yeah, baby. I've
Okay.
never seen anything like that. It's
She
bonkers, bro.
she was elbow deep in that throat. That
Yes,
was
yes. It was
that's what I
crazy.
remember. I
Yeah,
didn't I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
I didn't like the movie too much, but I do remember that part was pretty cool. I give it that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is super, super old school.
It
Um,
is.
but yeah, I'm drawing a blank on other ones, man. I mean, The Prowler is a pretty good old school one, Tom Savini.
It's pretty good.
Um, and I enjoyed talking about that on my channel because we did that for Slasher Movie Club. So that's a good example of one. Um, I guess you can't really count My Bloody Valentine because they had the remake, but
That's my go-to. That's what I say every time, even if it doesn't count.
yeah, I still love that movie, man. Just everything about it is fantastic. So that's a good mention as well.
And what do I got in the mutilator in the chat? I've seen that once. It was all
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all right.
We
I
got
haven't
one,
seen it in a while.
the Prowler. Yep, there you
Yep,
go. I like unique killer look. Story's a little bit slow, but
yep,
the kills are probably some of the best kills I've ever seen in 80 slashers. So
yep. Agreed, man.
Tom Savini
Savini, man. Telling you, he
killing
has a
it.
style. Yep.
Jason Nike asks, "What is a video or series you would love to cover, but it is not in your niche?"
I would love to cover, and this is gonna sound super cheesy, but I'll explain. I would love to cover um the Superman movies, specifically the first two with Christopher Reeve, because
Mhm.
growing up, those were they were just amazing to me, man, as a little kid. It was always playing on TV, and
Yeah.
all that type of shit. Um, but as a kid, that was, growing up as a kid, that's all we had until we had Batman in '89, as far as, big screen movie. But I would love um to cover that at some point. I will. I'm just gonna be like, fuck it. I'm just gonna do it
I'm doing
anyways.
it.
I know it's not horrid, it's a superhero thing, and you got to be careful when you do superhero content. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll do that at some point. And Jason knows. I know I'm wondering if he's asking this for a certain reason, but he knows at some point I'm gonna do the Rocky franchise. That is definitely a given because Rocky is one of my great loves as far as a franchise and a character.
Jason does. He knows.
He knows.
Jason's a Rocky guy, man. He's
He
all about
is.
Rocky. He ain't
He is, man.
he ain't wrong.
Nope.
I mean, I don't really stray too much off of horror, but even I enjoy some Rocky, so that's
Yeah,
just
man.
saying something. Um, Aaron Click says, when you said cheesy, I thought you were gonna say the Twilight series. I, hey, I'm not gonna lie. I got strong
Uh-oh.
takes. I don't hate the Twilight series, but that's probably because I watched them all with my wife. So
There you
that's a little
go.
different story than me just watching them by myself. So
Right,
I
right.
I don't think anybody can say anything about that. I
Nice.
mean, I'm not gonna go. Yeah, maybe I'll rewatch them. My wife likes to watch those from time to time, but
Right, right.
I'm not gonna rewatch them on my own.
There
So
you go.
props to me. Hey Kyle, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey,
Um,
Kyle.
what do you think? What's a horror franchise that you think is underrated? People don't talk about it enough. It needs some more love. What would you say?
Ooh, well, there's probably a couple that I could name. The first one that comes to my mind, which I've started to talk a little bit about in recent months, is the Psycho franchise.
Nice.
Now, of course, because most people are probably going to say, well, everybody loves Psycho, and that's true, but nobody ever talks about Psycho 2
So
or
good.
or Psycho 3, and even Psycho 4, man. I can sit back
It's
and
not
enjoy
bad.
Psycho 4. Olivia Hussey, she's a legend. I can watch her in anything, you know. But especially 2, that is just such a good movie, man. And I just think that, especially for us of a certain generation, when you say Norman Bates, it kind of brings back memories, or it holds a little bit of weight. And I think
Mhm.
nowadays he's so far removed from the younger generation, which is too bad, because I think that The character itself is iconic. Anthony Perkins' portrayal of the character is
Great.
iconic, and I think there were some good films in that series, even beyond Hitchcock's film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that 2 and 3 are really solid, and 4 is not too bad itself either.
And then there's the weirdos that like the remake, and I'm not gonna say I hated it because I didn't.
There you
I'm just
go. There
saying.
you go. Well, hey, I mean, the thing of it, it's shot by shot, right? So it's like, well,
Yeah.
if you like the original,
It's
now I will say I was really surprised they opted to do that, shot
yeah.
for shot. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate it because I love the original Psycho. So
I'm a sucker for Vince Vaughn. I mean, I guess
yeah, I love Vince
he's
Vaughn.
probably not the best person to play Norman Bates, but I
Yeah,
don't know. He just cracks me up when I see him. So maybe
yeah.
there's a little bit of enjoyment that really wasn't there, but just
Hmm.
because he was there, I was like, this is good.
Right, right, right. Yeah, he's a good
Um,
actor.
Chunky Jordy, I forgot, says my favorite is The Burning. That's a good non-franchise
Yeah,
slasher.
good
Really
one.
good.
Yeah, Burning. Good call. Yeah.
Do
Yep.
for a remake, I think. I'm just saying. I think it
I
could
think
do.
so.
So I hear a lot of people say they should have turned it into a franchise. I know we've seen slashers come back from worse, but I mean, he
Mhm.
did get axed to a pole and set on fire and burned. I don't know. I don't know how you
Right?
come back from that, but maybe. So
Exactly,
that kind of
exactly.
leads me into another question. Um,
Mhm.
is there a horror movie out there that you think a remake would do it justice, or that why not just give us a remake of whatever movie? Do you think there's one out there that deserves a remake?
Oh man, yeah, there's a couple, especially back in the 80s, because I just love that time period so much that should get a remake. And this is going to be a cheat type of answer, first of all. So let me just throw that out there. I've got a true answer after this. But I would have loved to have seen Jason Takes Manhattan, where they were able to actually have Jason take Manhattan, instead
Yeah.
of being 70% on the boat and 30% in Vancouver, flip it around like they wanted to, but they didn't have the budget.
Yeah.
They didn't have the budget. I would have loved to have seen what that movie could have been. Plus, the MPAA went all over it and screwed that up. I would love to see, a real version of that film. You know what I'm saying?
I
Um,
agree.
but other than that, I think we could do a remake of even some of the films we talked about. Like it wouldn't be a bad idea. Well, maybe if you got Savini involved, but like the Prowler, like, have that
Yeah.
become like a new franchise, like actually give it franchise type of treatment,
Mhm.
like, you know, um, puff up the story a little bit more. Cause like you said, there's parts where it's a little slow.
Yeah.
But of course the kills and the practical makes up for that. And it's a great final girl too. But if you update it, you give it a little bit of a better story, maybe another character or two to really entertain you. Still go practical. You got to go practical. But I wouldn't mind seeing an updated version of something like the Prowler or the Burning, like you said. Just trying to think, what else could there be? It's a bunch of it's a bunch of ones that you could pick from the 80s. I mean, it's
It-
almost like take your choice, you know?
It's they're bound. I mean, we in horror kind of just goes through phases. So,
Yeah,
I don't know, what was it, about 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, it was all remake, 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 take a
yeah,
break. It's bound to come back again. And maybe on the next wave, we'll get kind of the second round, you know what I mean? Like the second string team of remakes, maybe like you said, the Burning, the
yeah.
Prowler, and
Hmm.
go from there.
Yeah,
What they're cheap. I mean, are they going to get like mainstream attention? Probably not.
right.
Depending who the director, depending on who you get to star in the movie itself.
Hmm.
Um, but they're gonna make it'll make its money back. They're cheap enough to make, so
Right.
why not put a little? I'd say that seems like a Blumhouse thing to do, but that might not turn out well, depending. So I don't know.
And that's
I
true
don't
too,
know.
man. That's true too.
I'm not. I'm not a Blumhouse hater, but I mean, they toss out whatever, and if it sticks, it sticks.
Yeah,
If it
they
don't,
do,
oh
man.
well.
They keep working. I'll give them that. They don't slow down. Maybe do an updated version of The Stuff, There you
Okay.
go.
That's what whenever I was on Born to Be Rad and Garrett and the other day, they're like, I don't know if anybody would want a remake of the stuff. And I was like, I don't know, maybe. I wasn't
Yeah.
a big fan of the first one, the original, but I know it
Yeah.
has a following.
It
So maybe.
does. It really does. Yeah.
I guess I just don't get it. I don't I don't know. I don't get it. That's fine. Uh Brandon the Belden says could remake the Funhouse. I would like that
Yeah.
a
That's a
lot.
good one.
I would
Yep.
like that. I do love the original, so I'd be down to
Mhm.
see another one.
Yeah, me too, man. That would be actually a really good choice because you could do a lot of stuff with that mythology and that story and the setting itself. You know what I'm saying?
Fantastic.
You could have some fun with that. Hmm. Or even something like
Um
Motel Hell. You
uh,
know, it's like you could have fun with that.
yeah, I bought that blind buy. I was like, it's fine. I didn't think it was that great.
Yeah.
So maybe a remake might help. Or maybe I
Yeah.
just missed the boat on it. I don't know. But it was all right.
Yeah.
A pig with a chainsaw. I mean, more laughing than anything at the end, but
I
what are you
know.
gonna do? I don't know.
Right.
Whatever. Jason says, where does Terminator go now? Remake or reimagining?
Oh, sweet goodness. And Jason knows I love the Terminator franchise. Listen, let me say this.
Take a break.
Yeah, we need to we still need to have a break, and I'm talking at least another 5 years, 10 years probably is a better amount of time.
Mhm.
And I don't I don't think they should remake it because I don't think you can capture the charm and the magic that Cameron had in 84. I mean, for all intents and purposes, they kind of recreated some of that magic in
Yeah.
T2, but it was updated and more flashy and stuff, which was great. It's a great sequel. It's a great Terminator movie. I just think at some point, if it comes back, you've just got to, I guess, reimagine is a better way to put it.
Mhm.
Maybe take the bones of the story and just go in a different direction with it, which I don't. I've talked about it, but it's such a frustrating thing because I love the franchise so much that I get so frustrated that I don't even want to, you know what I mean? Try to think too much of it because I think they kind of ran it in the ground, and
Yeah.
it could have gone forward some, and I think when you think about Salvation, which a lot of people were down on, I didn't hate it. I think it was cool that now we're finally in the friggin' future, right? But I do think there were missed opportunities,
Mhm.
and so that kind of set the table for Genesis, which I think was a step back.
I didn't hate it.
Um, well, I did, I can watch all 6 of them and have fun
Mhm.
with 'em. I don't hate any of them. I'm not even Dark Fate, and I know a lot of people were really big on not liking Dark Fate, but I actually enjoyed Dark Fate. I do think there were a lot of missteps, and I do think there were some things that they could have done to really set up,
Yeah.
another movie or 2 or whatever. But yeah, we gotta take time off at least a decade, and then when we come back, if it comes back, they've gotta just they just have to pivot. They have to do something that is at least somewhat fresh and creative in the vein of what the Terminator franchise is.
Yeah.
Don't have Arnold in it. We just at some point we just got to cut the ties. And I
Move
love
on.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yep.
You know, I'm as big of a fan of his as anyone, but we just got to cut the ties and do something that is somewhat fresh. To me, that's the only alternative, you know?
I get it. I I
Yeah.
I mean, I love Terminator 1. T2's like honestly probably like my favorite non-horror movie like ever. It's so good.
Yeah,
Um
man, it is. It's
Genesis was
amazing.
good. I didn't really like T3 that much.
Hmm.
Um I didn't see Dark Fate. I've heard mixed things, mostly bad, but I just never
Hmm.
got around to watching that one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Got to put it on the watch list.
Yeah.
Like you said, Arnold, he he was great for the franchise, but it's time to
Yeah.
go a different direction, I think. So I agree with you
Yep.
on that one. Um, Jason also said we need a 12-part series to Silver Bullet. Obviously, you're
Ooh.
talking about a TV show because a 12 series movie would be outrageous. And I guess, I mean, I'd be down. I love Silver Bullet. It's my favorite werewolf movie of all time, so I would be down
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
that. It probably will never happen, but
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
think
I'd be
so.
down for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff you could do with the story, and I will say this, and I know Jason's a big fan of, like Flanagan and stuff like Hill House and all that. I think if you had a director, like Mike Flanagan, and really, break the story down and really get into some interesting stuff with characters, I could see a multi-part series on Silver Bullet. Obviously, you probably have to add some stuff, but
Yeah,
yeah, it wouldn't be bad.
wouldn't be bad. Speaking of TV series, are you excited for the Friday the 13th TV series? Are you excited for Crystal Lake?
Yeah, I am. Well, let me just say this. I mean, we've been waiting for now 15 years for Jason.
It's
It's been
crazy.
since can you believe that shit?
I can't.
Since '09, bro. I mean, I'm like, wow, all these other franchises have been just making money, Scream, Halloween, even TCM and Chucky
Yep.
streaming. It's like all these franchises are just like raking in the dough. And here we got Jason and Freddy sitting back in the wings chilling. And it's like, yeah, man, we gotta get the, part of the the OG3 back on board here. But yeah, I'm really excited for Crystal Lake. I'm gonna go into it just calm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not expecting the greatest thing of all time. I'm not, I'm just gonna go in. I just want to just take it in and see what they're gonna do. I think it has a lot of things going good for it. Brian Fuller, he's very good. You've got Adrian King on board. So I think there's a lot of, and they've got access to the whole mythology.
Yeah, they do.
So there's no doubt that I should see somebody in a damn hockey mask at some point. You
Killing
know what I'm
people.
saying? Killing people. And I hope it's good, man, because I want to see that return to the theaters. You know what I mean? And this is
Yes.
the time to do it, man, because the slashers are hot. You know what I'm saying? This is the time to do it. So hopefully they get their stuff together. I know they had all the legal stuff going on, but now that we kind of have
Move
moved
past.
forward, yeah, I hope they can do some stuff, man. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you got Scream. I mean, well, had Scream, might have
Right.
Scream. Who knows if
Right.
it, it's coming back. I don't know why they're trying to play this off like nobody wants to be in it. We cut ties with, they're coming back at some point. Stop.
Yes.
Money talks, and that's all that matters. As long as they say we're sorry, here's a boatload of money.
Right.
Oh, we'll come back. I ain't got no problem with you guys. So stop. It'll be back.
Sure.
What else we got? Like you said, Child's Play, 3 seasons of a television series.
Yeah.
Shocked it made it that far, but it did.
Right. Even Hellraiser
Thanksgiving,
came back.
yeah, Hellraiser,
Yeah.
TCM. Yes, they were Hulu and Netflix originals, but they were still movies that got made.
That's right.
So no excuse. Friday the 13th, get the TV show out, get working on a movie, get back
Right.
in the theaters. That's what we need. Nightmare, on the other hand, I don't really see that coming back anytime soon. I just don't think they have a drive to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see anything happening in the next couple of years. I know a lot of this deals with the Wes Craven estate
Yeah.
and the rights and all that. And as it should, they should have control of it. And because it was Wes's baby. But Robert said he's done. So, and I understand that. He's earned that. So, the thing about Nightmare, the question for Nightmare is, number one, what kind of story would you tell if you come back? Because we
Yeah.
just had the remake, which failed miserably. So you can't really come back and remake it. That wouldn't make sense. Remake the original, I mean.
No.
And then the question is, can you get someone to fill the shoes of Robert Englund that people can get on board with? And to be fair, I think Jackie Earl Haley is a
He,
good actor,
he
and
didn't.
I didn't hate him in the
Me
remake.
either.
I think he had good presence. He obviously has a great voice and everything. I think they just had some missteps with the story. But yeah, filling those shoes of Robert Englund, you got to get the right type of actors that's going to make the right choices, and you got to have a good story. And you got to make sure you don't use any crappy CGI like they did in the remake,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Some of that stuff was like, what are you doing here? I mean, you got a movie from 1984
Doing
that
better. Yeah.
looks better than a movie from 2010. What's going on? So It is what it is.
I don't know. It should be practical or not at all. Just saying.
Yes, I agree.
And if you got to use a little bit of CGI, I give you a little bit, but
Yeah.
you better mask over it with some freaking practical.
Right, exactly. Like you got to have, the best example I can think of, well, not the best, but one example I can think of is like Greg Nicotero. He talked a lot about that with his work on The Walking Dead,
Hmm.
for the zombie effects and stuff. And there's a lot of great stuff that they're doing practical, you know what I'm saying? But they'll
Yeah.
just have CGI just, smooth out a little
Yeah.
bit of stuff here and there just to, make sure it doesn't look totally ridiculous, and that's the thing. It's got to be practical when you, especially if you're talking about slasher movies. It's got to be
Hmm.
practical. If you need to use a little bit of CGI, that's fine, but it's got to be practical.
Wow. Ben Grimm, what's going on, buddy? He says, I
Hey,
saw Friday the 13th isn't in the top 20 highest grossing franchises. Nightmare on Elm Street is like 14. I,
wow.
I, how, I don't, I would assume they would be. I mean,
Mm.
maybe. Because Scream made a shit ton more money in a couple movies than they probably did.
Oh yeah.
The whole franchise. So I guess it is kind of hard to
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween better be in there with as
It
much money as
should
it made
be,
from the last three.
right?
So,
With 2018 alone, 2018 alone made a shit ton of money,
250 million, it better be in there somewhere.
right? Right.
Um, speaking of Halloween, what what do you think they should do? Should we get a remake? Should we get a reimagining? Should we get a
Yeah.
TV series? Should we get Season of the Witch? What do you think we should get?
Well, and I mean, I've talked about this so much, man. And the good news is that there's a lot of places they could go. So that's the good news. Um, as far as what it seems like we're going to get something as far as a TV series. I think that's fine. As long as we understand that the end game is to have Michael back on the big screen.
Yep.
So maybe the TV series is something that is surrounding Michael, like maybe it's stories in Haddonfield and maybe Michael pops up here and there, in the
Yeah.
TV show. I don't know. But ultimately, we got to get back on the big screen. And this is what I think, and I've put this out there quite a few times. I think you can go one of two ways. You can do a sequel off of one of the um you can do a sequel off of one of the sequels, most
Mhm.
likely Halloween 4, and I know everyone's talked about that
Oh
recently.
yeah.
The whole idea of Dwight Little and Danielle Harris and all that. I don't hate that idea at all because Halloween 4, I love Halloween 4, but I think what would be even better, or I should say as good, is not a remake, because we just went through that in '07 with Rob Zombie.
Yep.
Come back with a Halloween story. It's a new timeline. It's Michael Myers, and have a new mythology. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
you can keep some elements. The one element that you don't keep is Laurie, because obviously Jamie Lee Curtis is not going to be in it. You know,
No.
you can keep Loomis if you want. I can kind of go either way on that. I absolutely love Loomis as a character, so I have nostalgia for him. But I think you have a Michael Myers. He kills Judith. He gets put away. He escapes, or whatever. Basically go from there, and you got a brand
Mhm.
new mythology, brand new characters, brand new scenarios.
Everything.
And I think you could do it because now we've established. I mean, Halloween's got friggin' like 5 timelines.
Yeah, they do.
I'm saying, so why not just have a new timeline that is brand new? I mean, obviously Rob Zombie did that as well, as far as the remake and then its sequel. So let's just have a new timeline where it's a brand new mythology for Michael Myers, and go down that road. Make the mask good. Learn
Yes.
from this trilogy. Learn from what Christopher Nelson did. The mask has to look good. Um, get Aaron Armstrong as Michael Myers.
Fantastic.
He was fantastic in the recreation scene in Kills. That that is one of the coolest sequences
Ever.
ever, bro. I mean, it when we were in the theater and they started showing that, I was like, "Is this lost footage?" Like when they, especially when they had Loomis come on, I'm looking at him, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, is that Donald? Is that?" And it fooled me for about a second. That's how good it was. That's how good it was. So I think, in other words, I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot of great things they can do with Halloween if they keep their heads on straight
Yep.
and make the right decisions, so that's what I think.
I'm down. I mean, a little break was good.
Yeah.
It was nice to have a little break.
Yeah.
Obviously, nothing's coming this year. Probably, I can't imagine in 2024,
Right.
2025. Get something together. Either get a TV show going,
Mhm.
get working on a movie,
Yep.
and go back to basics. Minus, like everybody said in the chat, minus Laurie Strode.
Yep.
That has run its course.
Yeah.
We don't need that anymore.
Yep.
And I don't really think anybody wants that, to be
Right.
honest, except I saw Wolfman's Got Nards. He wanted to do it again, but I cannot take we don't need it anymore. It's
Right.
overkill.
Yeah.
Get a new Final Girl, get a new story.
Right.
Um, Donald Pleasance. Oh, yeah, Donald Pleasance. So we wish.
Yeah.
Dr. Loomis, if you can do it right, like the flashback scene, go
Mhm.
for it. If you
Yeah.
can't, I don't know, because people will criticize that all day. So
Right. Right. Yeah, you got to be careful, because
that's the
this is
fine line.
yeah, and it's hollowed ground, especially, being that he's such a beloved character. So you got to make smart choices. If you can get someone to portray him that can do it justice and be respectful, then I'm cool with it. But
Yeah.
if you can't do that, then I would rather just see another type of character that's involved. But that's the thing, man, is that you really could start a new timeline and you could have some really, really cool stuff. But as long as they make the right choices, you gotta be respectful to the mask, like they
Yep.
showed in this trilogy. And like I said, Aaron Armstrong is perfect, man. He's the perfect age to do
He did it
multiple
right.
movies, and he's shown that he can do it. He's a stunt guy. James loves him. James Drew Courtney loves him. And it's
Hell yeah.
like it's right there for the taking, man. This is what I think. And the 50th anniversary is coming up in a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? So once we
Mhm.
get to 2028, that's 50 years. So get something set up for the 50-year anniversary and do it right. Don't waste time, because the thing about Friday that I think that they've really done that's too bad is I really liked Derek Mears as Friday as
Loved them.
Jason. You know what I mean? And I've had the
Mhm.
the the, the honor and pleasure of meeting him twice. And he's
Nice.
such a cool guy, man. He still wants to do it. He's like, hey man, if they put something together, I'm ready to go. He still looks great and everything. But think about this, man. 15 years since that movie, he could have easily played Jason at least a couple more times.
I know.
So, with Aaron Armstrong, like, don't waste time and opportunity with a person that has proven that he can be a great Michael Myers. Get
Yep.
something ready.
That flashback scene, is what is it, about 15, 20 minutes? I mean,
It's
it's
awesome.
pretty iconic for just being a scene in a movie. So
Yeah.
it's a kind of a big deal. And he
Yeah.
felt like, the real OG Myers. And I think
He
he'd be
did.
perfect. So
He did, man.
hopefully somebody will jump on board and
Mhm.
get into this thing. Hopefully, well, who got it now? Miramax bought it. So
Yeah.
we'll see. They got the
Yep.
money. They can
They
figure something
do.
out.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, I was a DGG lover, so I love the whole trilogy from David Gordon Green. So I don't have any
Mhm.
complaints like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Um, but it'll be nice to get a fresh start, fresh vibes,
Yeah.
fresh everything. So I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
down.
I mean, imagine going into a Halloween movie, where you have Michael, a young Michael, and you have no clue what's going on with the characters. Like, that would be great. That would be absolutely great.
That's right, Aaron. Setting even in the original Halloween, the Halloween atmosphere, was it there? A little,
Yeah.
not
Right.
much.
Right. Mhm.
If you remake it, Halloween everywhere, decorations, trick or treaters everywhere.
Right.
You need to
Mhm.
know it's Halloween. And Halloween 4 did it great, obviously. Halloween 6 even did it damn
Mhm.
well. So,
Agreed.
I mean, look, just go back and look at some movies in the franchise and just try to, replicate some of that atmosphere, and you should be fine. I mean,
Mhm.
Halloween fans, are picky, and
Yep.
we like what we like. So hard to please. You're not going to please everyone. You never do. But
Yep.
just show them that you're trying. Show them that you're giving it your best, and you're trying to make it feel like a Halloween movie. And I
Mhm.
think the fans will go along with it for sure.
Agreed.
100%.
Oh yeah.
let's see. I think I had a question up there. I don't know if you're a big pizza guy, but Felix James says, "What's your favorite kind of pizza?"
Pepperoni.
Just plain pepperoni. Look at this guy.
Yeah, man. I
He's a
can
cl-
well, put it this way, I mean, and sometimes it might be pepperoni and mushroom or pepperoni and onion, but it's gotta have pepperoni on it. I love pepperoni.
I'm a little confused by the one reply. It said, "You're gonna laugh at my pizza. It's vegetarian ham and pineapple. Um, ham is meat, so I don't know how that counts, but
Right.
but I respect your opinion
I love
on.
that.
I like ham and pineapple pizza. So I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hate on you for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Ham's
it
pretty good.
it ain't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's Aaron Click said Halloween decorations everywhere, but don't put like 25 trick or treaters on an 8-foot slab of sidewalk. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
they do, and they'd be like, "We had Halloween atmosphere. Look at that trick or treating scene. Right there's the proof."
Exactly. Exactly.
So hey Garrett, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up?
Congratulations on 6,000 subscribers last night.
Yeah, man. Congrats. Big congrats. That's awesome.
Grinding. I remember the days 6 months ago when you were below me by 3,000. Then you just blew past me, but good for you. Good for you. They like everybody
He
likes you more than me, and that's
he's
okay.
working hard, man.
I
That's the thing,
know.
man. There's so many really cool channels in this community. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It really, really is.
It is like
Mhm.
the channels I started doing, collabing with in the beginning. We go a little bit different ways, and now the people that I do videos with now, it's totally different. But it's all
Mm.
good. I have respect for everybody out there. We all go through rebrands and what
Yeah.
changing logos, changing whatever. We're
Mhm.
just trying to make it ourselves, I guess, and not
Right.
sell out. Which that's the one thing I do on here, no matter what. My opinions are strong, and they're usually the opposite of others. But it's good. It's good to be different and not just
Yeah.
go along with the herd. And I
Yeah.
like being a little bit different and taking some shit. It
Well,
has a
you
little
wanna
bit
be
of fun.
yourself. You wanna be yourself, man, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And that's I think that's the one thing that because I have people ask me that all the times, like, "Well, what how should I do this?" Or, "What do you think I should do?" Or, "How'd you do this?" And it's like, man, just you gotta be yourself. You gotta be yourself, do things that interest you. Um, don't try to always emulate everything that you see because then you're gonna lose track of what makes you special,
Yep.
what makes you stand out. So, yeah.
Exactly. Yep. That's the thing. Keep grinding, working hard. I mean, people like,
Yeah.
I should start a YouTube channel. I'm like, go ahead, go for it. Like, you don't got
Right.
anything to lose. Just put it out there, have fun, be
Mhm.
yourself. I
That's
mean, even
right.
if you don't have the best camera, best
That's right.
lights, editing software, mic, whatever, just
That's
start.
right.
'Cause when I
Yep.
started, I didn't have any. I had a laptop and I had,
I didn't even have that.
oh,
All I had was my
phone.
friggin' phone, bro.
That's
I
what I
was
hear a
on
lot of
my
people do.
phone I was on my phone for, like, easily a year.
Damn.
Easily. And I just said, "Hey, I'm just gonna try it and see what happens," and I mean, that's the thing, man. If you look at, like, even these guys in the chat, Garrett, Jason, all these guys, you, me, a lot of the guys we came up with,
Yeah.
the one thing in common, I think anyways, is that we just kept moving. We just kept on moving, kept on trying, kept on, you know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
that's a special thing. That's like the special ingredient because it's so easy to quit. I mean, like, there's like 1,000 reasons that I could think of to quit, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But then there's those couples that say, "No, don't
Keep
quit,
going.
keep moving, keep having fun because you love it." You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So that's the thing is that you just got to keep on grinding and whatever you got at your disposal to use, whether it's a phone, a laptop, webcam, whatever, just go for it and see what this whole YouTube thing is about. Have fun with it. And then as time goes on, if you choose to, like me, I said, okay, I've been using my phone way too long. Let
Yeah.
me let me invest in a laptop
Yeah.
finally. And I did it and it made things easier.
Hmm.
So then as things were easier, I said, okay, well now I can do more. And then I had, more movement on my channel. So it's a process. You can't do everything all at once. Sometimes people try to do that and they try to run before they walk. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I think that in general, I'm not saying for everyone, but in general, you just got to take your time with it, put forth your best, and see where the chips fall.
Yep. Try, try new. You're just starting. Try new things. You want to review
Right.
movies? Go ahead. Trailer reactions? Go for it.
Right.
Whatever until you find what works for you. I mean, I
Yep.
did the same thing. I used to review movies myself.
Hmm.
It just wasn't for me. I was just trying to fit in with like the Lees and the Cody Leaches, and it didn't work. And
Hmm. Hmm.
I wasn't really enjoying it, so I ditched that. And I do a lot of watch alongs on the channel. I know that's not a big view getter. I get it. I get it.
Hmm.
People don't want to
Hmm.
watch you watch a movie, but
Right.
I enjoy it, and I try to make it
Right.
interesting when I do them. So that's kind
Hmm.
of something I've added to the channel. This interview series I do, that was new to the channel. I never interviewed anyone, and I'm probably not the greatest at it, but that's okay because you get better as you go. Get to talk and chat with all these great creators and get to know a little bit
Right.
more about them. It's
Right.
all about experiences, and
It is.
people get asked to be in fan films occasionally. A couple of them, I couldn't be in them unfortunately, but why? Who would have thought me doing this? People would be like, "Dude, you want to be in my movie?" And I'm like, "Why?" But
Right.
it's awesome, and hopefully meeting up with some of these creators one day. I got hopefully a trip planned in March to go meet up with Garrett for the first time, so I'm looking forward
Nice.
to that. It's been a great journey so far, and I know your journey has been great. You've been killing it over there on the Night Watch. I know you had a little bit of problems in the beginning; they took your shit down, but you came back
Yes. Yeah.
stronger than ever and killing it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. You can't have that taught me. I mean, I already knew it, but it was a real life example of it. You can't have any success without failures. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And again, a lot of reasons to quit, a lot of reasons to say, well, you know what? I don't need to do this anyways. But, I realized that I just have so much fun doing it. And, bro, I've loved movies since I was a little kid. So that's always been the constant. I
Yeah,
love movies. I love talking about movies. And in my own life, I can't or I don't get the opportunity to talk about movies like we do,
yeah,
together or with an audience. I don't get a
exactly.
chance to do that in real life. So this is a big outlet for me. This is, in a way, it's therapeutic for me. So that's why I said, man, you know, you got you got taken down a couple notches. And I remember talking to, well, obviously, Coriander and my brother and a
Yep.
couple people in the community, and I remember my brother said, "Well, I guess it's over." And Coriander was really, down in the dumps about it. And I said, "You know what? Maybe we can do it better.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do it. But who's to say we can't?" Of course, and I know, I know Jason probably gets that because it's rocky. I'm not gonna lie, it's rocky. Maybe we can do better this time, and
Hmm.
that's really what I was thinking. And it took work, obviously, but I feel better about what I'm doing now than I did, that first go round, because again, I was new at it. I was trying to gain experience and
Yep.
using my phone and all that type of stuff. And it was a good learning experience, in other words, not fun at the time,
No,
but it was a great experience for the long haul. And that's what this is. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint,
exactly. Just
you know.
keep grinding. That's all it is. I mean, I
Right.
don't do I put out as much content I would like to. Probably not. With the family and kids, I don't have all the time and working and stuff. So I do what I
Right.
can and make it the best. Make it the best you can. If the views ain't there, which I've done multiple things. They just don't come like other channels do, but that's fine. I enjoy what I do
Hmm.
in the content I put out, so I keep going and keep going forward. So that's my advice to anybody who wants to start a channel. Just do it. Take the
Hmm.
risk. If you're afraid, you ain't got nothing to lose, really. Just
Nope.
get in front of the camera, talk about what you love, and make sure it is genuine. Don't try
That's
to be
right.
something you're not, because it ain't never gonna work. So that's my advice to you guys if you're going to start a channel. But don't be afraid. You have
Nope.
nothing to be afraid of. You got tons of creators out there who are gladly help you. Believe
Mhm.
me,
It's
the
true.
big ones you may think not, like Lee and Cody Leach. You may think, nah, they ain't gonna, but they will. They
They're so
will.
cool, man. They are so cool and so humble, bro. Like when I got a chance to collab with them and stuff and talk to them and interview and stuff, all that type of stuff, I was even more inspired by them than I already
Yeah,
was. Because I was like, these guys are just regular guys. They're cool, they're
exactly.
humble, and they wanna help the community. They want to give back to the community too. So it's like that's a great example. So yeah, they'll help you
Yeah,
out.
Hell yeah, they will.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, that we've been going for about 50 minutes. That's about the usual for these bad boys. Um,
Right.
can't thank you enough for coming on today and hanging out a little bit.
Yeah.
Appreciate that very much. It's been too long, my friend. We'll
Yeah.
definitely have to hook up again here in the near future for sure. If
That's right.
you are not subscribed to this guy, links are down below in the description box. Go give him a sub. Makes great content, all around good dude. Does it for the right reasons. I promise you guys that. Um, yeah, man. It means a lot that you came on, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, it's been a long time, so we'll have to, like you said, we'll have to hook up and do something, man, or I have to get you out on one of my panels or something like that. And
Sounds good, brother.
like I said, with people in the community who just love doing it, like you've got a passion for it, and it's obvious. And when you can have these type of discussions and have fun, that's what it's all about, man. So it was my
That's
pleasure
it.
being here, man. My
I
pleasure being here.
appreciate it, man. Everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate the love. If you could, before you exit the show, just click that little like button for me. I usually don't say it, but please do. Means a lot. And I will see you guys Tuesday night. Little Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 interactive watch along. Looking forward to that night.
Nice.
You enjoy the rest of your Sunday, brother. And
Yeah,
I will
man.
see you soon, man.
All right, man. Peace out.
Peace out,
Catch you
everybody.
later.